There are moments when everything around you seems calm and quiet, almost like the world has slowed down just enough for you to breathe. But inside, your thoughts keep racing, moving from one worry to another without giving you a break. It feels like your mind is carrying conversations you never agreed to have. You try to silence them, but they keep returning stronger than before. And in that stillness, the noise within becomes impossible to ignore. Sometimes it starts so subtly that you barely notice it at first. A small concern here, a passing thought there, until those little things begin to pile up. Before long, what seemed manageable begins to feel overwhelming. Your chest tightens, your focus drifts, and even simple moments feel heavier than they should. It's as if your heart is trying to carry more than it was ever designed to hold. Anxiety rarely announces itself loudly. It doesn't knock on the door or ask for permission to enter. Instead, it slips in quietly, taking up space in your mind little by little. It whispers doubts, questions your peace, and magnifies your fears. And by the time you recognize what's happening, it already feels like it has settled deep within you. Maybe today this feels all too familiar to you. Maybe you've been trying to push through it, pretending everything is fine on the outside. You smile, you go about your day, you do what needs to be done, but inside there's a restlessness that won't go away, a tension that lingers no matter how hard you try to shake it off. And in moments like this, it's easy to feel alone, as if no one truly understands what's going on inside your heart. But what you're experiencing is not strange, and it's not something that makes you weak. It's part of the human journey, a place many have stood before you. And as we move forward, there is something deeper to discover about this feeling that refuses to stay quiet. What you are feeling right now is not something new, and it is not something that only you have faced. Long before our time, people walked this same path, carrying fears, doubts, and heavy thoughts in their hearts. The difference is that their stories were written down so we could learn from them. The Bible does not hide these emotions or pretend they do not exist. Instead, it brings them into the light with honesty and compassion. When you read through Scripture, you begin to notice something powerful. Men and women who deeply loved God still experienced moments of distress and uncertainty. They questioned, they cried out, and sometimes they felt overwhelmed by what was happening around them. Yet, even in those moments, God did not turn away from them. He stayed close, listening to every word and seeing every tear. This reveals an important truth that can change the way you see your own struggles. Feeling anxious does not mean you are failing spiritually or drifting away from God. It does not disqualify your faith or make you less worthy of His presence. In fact, those moments can become opportunities to draw closer to Him in a more real and honest way. Your vulnerability can become the very place where connection begins. Think about how often we try to hide what we feel, even from God. We act like we need to appear strong, as if He expects us to have everything together all the time. But the people in the Bible show us a different approach. They brought their fears directly to God, without filters or masks. And in doing so, they found comfort, guidance, and strength that went beyond their own understanding. So instead of seeing anxiety as something that separates you from God, begin to see it as a doorway, a moment that invites you to come closer, to speak honestly, and to depend on Him in a deeper way. Because as we continue, you will start to understand that what you do with these feelings matters more than the feelings themselves. In the middle of all that inner noise, when your thoughts feel scattered and your heart feels heavy, God does not respond with judgment. He does not point fingers or remind you of your weakness. Instead, He reaches out with something unexpected, something gentle and full of grace. He offers you an invitation, not a demand, and that invitation is to come closer and trust Him. This kind of invitation is different from what we often expect. It is not loud or forceful, and it does not pressure you into instant change. It is steady, patient, and full of understanding. God knows exactly what you are carrying, even the things you have not been able to put into words. And instead of telling you to fix everything on your own, He simply asks you to place it in His hands. Trusting God does not mean pretending your problems are not real. It does not mean ignoring what you feel or acting like everything is fine when it is not. What it really means is choosing to believe that God is greater than what you are facing. It is learning to say, even in uncertainty, that you are not alone in this moment. And that truth begins to shift something deep inside your heart. There is a quiet exchange that happens when you accept this invitation. You begin to release the weight you have been holding so tightly, and in return, you receive a sense of peace that you cannot create on your own. It may not happen all at once, and it may take time, but little by little, your heart starts to feel lighter. That constant tension begins to loosen its grip. And as this process unfolds, you start to realize that faith is not about having all the answers. It is about knowing who you can trust, even when answers are not clear. God is calling you to trade your burden for His peace, your worry for His presence. And as we keep moving forward, you will see how this invitation begins to transform the way you carry everything in your life. There is a hidden weight that many people carry without even realizing it at first. It comes from the constant need to control outcomes, to predict what will happen next, and to make sure nothing goes wrong. You try to plan every step, think through every possibility, and prepare for every scenario. But the more you try to hold everything together, the heavier it begins to feel. And slowly, that pressure starts to wear you down from the inside out. Control can feel like safety in the beginning. It gives the illusion that if you just try hard enough, you can prevent pain and avoid disappointment. But life does not always follow our plans, no matter how careful we are. Unexpected moments still come, and things still happen that we cannot change. And when they do, the weight of unmet expectations can feel overwhelming. What makes this even more difficult is that we were never designed to carry that kind of responsibility alone. There are limits to what we can handle, even on our strongest days. When we try to take on everything, we end up stretching ourselves beyond those limits. Our minds grow tired, our hearts grow restless, and our peace begins to fade. It becomes a cycle that is hard to break. Sometimes, without realizing it, we step into a place that was never meant for us. We begin to act as if everything depends on us, as if we are the ones holding the entire picture together. But that role belongs to God, not to us. And when we try to take His place, even in small ways, the result is always the same. It leads to emotional exhaustion and a deep sense of weariness. Letting go of control does not mean giving up or becoming careless. It means recognizing where your role ends and where God's authority begins. It is choosing to trust that He sees what you cannot see and understands what you cannot fully grasp. And as we continue, you will begin to see how releasing this need for control opens the door to a different kind of strength. There is a kind of peace that most people are searching for, but often in the wrong places. We tend to believe that peace will come when everything around us finally settles down, when problems disappear, when plans work out, when life feels predictable again. But real life rarely stays that steady for long. And if our peace depends on perfect conditions, it will always feel fragile and temporary. The Bible speaks about a different kind of peace, one that is not tied to what is happening on the outside. It is not built on circumstances or controlled by situations. Instead, it comes from something deeper, something that remains steady even when everything else feels uncertain. This peace is rooted in trust, not in outcomes. And that changes everything about how we experience difficult moments. Imagine being in the middle of a storm, where the winds are strong and the waves are unpredictable. On the outside, everything feels chaotic and unstable, but somehow, within you, there is a calm that does not match what is happening around you. That is the kind of peace God offers. It does not remove the storm immediately, but it gives you the strength to stand in the middle of it without falling apart. This kind of inner rest begins when you shift where your hope is placed. Instead of depending on everything going right, you begin to depend on God being present. You start to believe that no matter what happens, He is still in control and still working in ways you may not fully understand. That belief creates a sense of stability that circumstances alone could never provide. And as you continue to walk in this trust, something begins to change inside you. The same situations that once caused anxiety begin to lose their power over your heart. You may still feel concern, but it no longer consumes you in the same way. Because now, you are learning to rest in something greater. And as we move forward, you will begin to see how this peace can grow stronger with each step. Many people struggle with the idea of letting go because it feels too close to giving up. It can seem like stepping back means losing, like you are admitting defeat or walking away from something important. But that is not what surrender really means in a life of faith. There is a difference between quitting and trusting, and understanding that difference can change how you carry your burdens. Surrender is not about abandoning responsibility or pretending that things do not matter. It is about recognizing that you have done what you could with what you have. You showed up, you tried, you made decisions, and you gave your effort. But there comes a point where your strength reaches its limit. And instead of pushing beyond what you can handle, you choose to place the outcome in God's hands. When you say, "God, I have done my part, now I trust you with the rest," something powerful happens inside you. You are no longer carrying the full weight of the situation alone. You are allowing God to step into the parts you cannot control or fix. That shift may feel small at first, but it creates space in your heart where tension once lived. And in that space, peace begins to grow. Letting go in this way is not weakness, even though it may feel unfamiliar. In fact, it takes courage to release control and trust someone you cannot physically see. It requires a deep kind of faith, the kind that believes God is working even when there is no immediate evidence. And that kind of faith strengthens you from the inside, giving you resilience that goes beyond your own ability. As you begin to live this out, you may notice that you are no longer reacting the same way to pressure or uncertainty. The urge to control everything slowly loses its grip on you. You start to breathe a little easier, to think a little clearer, and to move forward with more confidence. Because now, you are not carrying everything alone, and as we continue, you will see how this trust begins to shape your daily life. When anxiety begins to rise and your thoughts feel overwhelming, prayer becomes more than just a spiritual habit. It becomes a place of refuge, a quiet space where you can pause and breathe again. In those moments, you are not trying to impress anyone or say the perfect words. You are simply coming as you are, with everything you are feeling. And that honesty is where something meaningful begins. Talking to God has a way of bringing order to what feels chaotic inside your mind. As you begin to speak, even if your words feel scattered at first, your heart starts to settle. You are no longer holding everything in, trying to figure it out on your own. Instead, you are releasing those thoughts, placing them into the hands of someone who understands completely. And that alone can bring a sense of relief. Prayer also shifts your focus in a powerful way. Instead of being consumed by your worries, your attention turns toward God's presence. You begin to remember who He is, what He has done, and how faithful He has been. That shift does not always remove the problem immediately, but it changes how you see it. What once felt overwhelming begins to feel more manageable. There is something deeply comforting in knowing that you are not alone in your struggles. Prayer reminds you that God is not distant or disconnected from your life. He is near, listening, and fully aware of everything you are going through. Even when you cannot find the right words, He understands the thoughts and emotions behind them. That kind of connection brings a peace that is hard to explain, but easy to feel. Over time, prayer begins to shape you from the inside out. It strengthens your faith, softens your heart, and helps you respond differently to pressure and uncertainty. You may still face challenges, and anxiety may still try to return, but you are no longer the same person within those moments. And as we continue, you will begin to see how this inner transformation starts to influence the way you think each day. What you allow to fill your mind has a powerful impact on how you feel and how you respond to life. Anxiety often grows in spaces where negative thoughts are repeated over and over again. It feeds on uncertainty, on what-if scenarios, and on fears that may never even happen. The more those thoughts are entertained, the stronger they seem to become. And before long, they begin to shape the way you see everything around you. But the Bible points us in a different direction, one that leads to renewal instead of confusion. It teaches that our minds are not meant to stay trapped in cycles of fear. Instead, they can be refreshed and realigned with truth. This is not something that happens automatically, but it is something we can choose daily. And that choice begins with what we focus on and what we believe. Replacing fear with truth does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing to see reality through a different lens. When anxious thoughts arise, you can begin to counter them with what God says instead. Where fear says, "You are alone," truth reminds you that God is always with you. Where doubt says, "This is too much," truth gently tells you that God will give you the strength you need. This process takes intention and patience, because your mind will naturally drift back to old patterns. But each time you choose truth over fear, you are building something new within you. You are creating a foundation that is not easily shaken by circumstances. And little by little, your thinking begins to change, bringing more clarity and less confusion. As your mind becomes anchored in truth, your perspective starts to shift in a noticeable way. Situations that once triggered anxiety begin to lose their intensity. You start to respond with more calmness, more confidence, and more hope, because now your thoughts are no longer leading you into fear, but guiding you towards something steady. And as we continue, you will begin to see how this new way of thinking shapes the way you approach each day. One of the biggest reasons anxiety grows so quickly is because our minds keep jumping ahead into the future. We start thinking about things that have not happened yet, creating scenarios that may never even become real. It is easy to get lost in those thoughts, trying to prepare for every possible outcome. But in doing so, we end up carrying worries that do not belong to today. And that weight can feel overwhelming. The Bible gently guides us back to a simpler and healthier way of living. It reminds us that we are meant to take life one day at a time, not all at once, not weeks or months ahead, but right here, in this moment. There is a reason for that. God gives us the strength we need for today, not for an imagined future that has not arrived. And when we try to live beyond today, we step outside of that provision. Living one day at a time does not mean you stop planning or thinking ahead completely. It means you refuse to let the future steal your peace in the present. You begin to focus on what is in front of you, what you can do right now, and what truly matters in this moment. That shift may seem small, but it creates a sense of calm that is often missing when we are constantly looking ahead. There is a quiet freedom that comes with this kind of mindset. When you stop trying to carry tomorrow's problems today, your heart begins to feel lighter. You are able to breathe a little deeper, think more clearly, and move forward with less pressure. You begin to notice things you might have missed before, because your mind is no longer consumed by what could happen next. As you practice this way of living, you start to trust that each day will come with what you need to face it. You no longer feel the need to have everything figured out in advance. Instead, you take one step at a time, knowing that God is already present in every moment ahead of you. And as we move forward, you will begin to see how this daily trust leads you into a deeper place of rest. At the end of it all, after every thought, every struggle, and every moment of uncertainty, everything comes back to one simple truth. God is faithful. Not sometimes, not only when life feels easy, but always. His faithfulness does not depend on your situation or your emotions. It remains steady, unchanging, and constant through every season you walk through. When you begin to truly understand that, something inside you starts to settle. You realize that you do not have to have all the answers to feel at peace. You do not need to control every outcome or figure everything out ahead of time, because the one who holds your life in his hands already sees the full picture, and that kind of assurance brings a deep sense of calm. Resting in God's faithfulness means choosing to trust even when things do not make sense. It means believing that He is working behind the scenes, even when you cannot see any visible change. There will be moments when questions arise, when doubt tries to creep in. But in those moments, you gently remind your heart of who God has always been. And that reminder becomes your anchor. This kind of rest is not something the world can give you. It is not based on circumstances improving or problems disappearing overnight. It is something deeper, something rooted in your relationship with God. As you lean into His presence, you begin to feel a quiet strength rising within you. A strength that allows you to face life without being consumed by fear. So today, take a moment and release what you have been holding on to so tightly. Breathe, slow down, and remember that you are not walking through this alone. God is with you, guiding you, sustaining you, and caring for you in ways you may not even realize yet. And as you continue forward, let this truth stay with you. You can rest because He is faithful, and that rest is where true peace begins. I prepared a devotional called New Vase, 21 Days to Restore Your Life with God. It's a 21-day spiritual journey with reflections, prayers, and Bible verses that can help you renew your faith, heal your heart, and walk closer to the Lord. In the first pinned comment, brother and sister, as you go forward from this moment, may your heart be filled with a peace that stays with you even in uncertain times. May you feel God's presence in a real and personal way, guiding your steps and calming every anxious thought. And may you remember that you are never alone, no matter what you face. I encourage you to take this message with you into your daily life and let it grow inside your heart. If this reflection spoke to you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment sharing what touched you the most. And if you know someone who needs this encouragement, send it to them, because one message can make a difference. May God bless your life, your family, and everything you place in His hands from this day on. Walk with confidence, knowing that His faithfulness surrounds you and His peace is available to you every single day. See you in the next video. Until then.